How do you identify your purpose? If I was your son, what would you tell me? I'm the first in my family to break many cycles. I need some guidance.
Shannon Sharpe, aka Unc, and Chad Ochocinco were two dominant players in the NFL and have now taken social media by storm. Nightcap, which is the name of their YouTube podcast, is not Christian-based per se, but it's highly entertaining and valuable to life in some aspects. The topics on their podcast range from sports to relationships, but what I'll be reacting to in this video will be on what the two talked about on discovering your purpose in life.
How do you identify your purpose? If I was your son, what would you tell me? I'm the first in my family to break many cycles. I need some guidance. I didn't tell my son anything. I allowed him to be what he wanted to be.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that's his life. I've lived my life.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard me say it before. I didn't want any of my, and I told him I was talking to my daughter today. Her and I had a very heart-to-heart moment today. She was kind of in her feelings about some things, and I just had to explain some things to her. So it was great. Is that I never wanted my kids, Ocho, my kids are a lot older than yours, to get to a point in their life and say, Daddy, I only did this because of you. That was probably my greatest fear.
Right.
Because you know how you do something, Ocho, and you're like, I only came because you invited me, or I only did this because nah.
Yeah.
So in other words, you would have wasted 20, 25, 30 years of your life doing something that you didn't want to do, only to appease your dad. Nah. And so that's what I told my son. You know, people like, your son didn't play sport. That wasn't what he wanted to do.
Right.
That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
That's what his uncle wanted to do. He wanted to go to school, get a degree. There are a lot of things. He wanted to be a pharmacist. He wanted to do something with medicine. He did that. And you know, he found his mate. And he got married. He got my grandson, and he's happy.
Yeah.
I think he's happier right now than had he done something that I wanted him to do.
Right. Yeah. I'm kind of the same way with my kids. Obviously, my son, with both of my sons, I would never force the issue. I'm not one of those that try to live vicariously through my kids. I'm a supportive dad, and whatever it is that you want to do, you can do. Whatever you choose to do, you can do. Obviously, anything that puts you in harm's way, I'm not really supporting that. But
hell no.
I'm blessing you in whatever feat, whatever journey you take. I'm gonna be with you 100 steps away. You don't have to play football. You know, if you want to play football, cool, that's fine and dandy. If you don't want to play football, whatever it is you have to do, understand in life, you're gonna have to earn a living. You're gonna have to do something. You just can't do nothing. Now you got to do something.
Oh yeah.
You got to be passionate about something in life and have a drive and have that same drive and that same work ethic that I did to be successful at whatever it is that you choose to do. But whatever it may be, I'm all for it. I would never force. And I think, you know, growing up, when you have kids, you never want to force them to do something, because when they get to an age where they can kind of be rebellious and not fight back literally, but like say, you know what, this ain't what I want to do. I don't want to do this because you forcing me to do it. They tend to resent that, and they grow up hating whatever sport that is that you're forcing on them, because maybe you weren't successful at it, or maybe because you want to force them to do it because you know you didn't make it, so you want to make sure they do. Yeah,
right. I live your life through your kids.
Yeah,
and it's just not sports. Anything. A partner. I've never look. I tell my kids all the time, if you like them, I love them. Hell, I ain't got to spend one night with them. You do.
Right.
So if that's who makes you happy, my son, hey, don't you put your hand, hey, you got a kid now. That's not your child.
Right.
You don't discipline her. You talk to her. You treat her with respect. I told her the same thing. That's my son. I love him. I want you to treat him with respect.
Right.
My daughters, I say, hey, I ain't gonna, hey, if you love him, by all means, I don't care. I don't care what he does. They say, hey, don't you want I want my daughter to be happy. If she finds somebody that makes 10 million that makes her
Uh-huh.
happy, I'm cool. She
Yeah.
finds somebody that makes 50,000, as long as that 50,000 can support them,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Right, right,
Because
right.
at the end of the day, I want my daughter to be loved because I know they love.
Hmm.
My son, I want him to find somebody that loved him
Hmm.
because I know he loves.
Right.
So all that other stuff, at the end of the day, if they find somebody that loves them, that's all I ask. Bring and give me some grandkids. You see my son, my grandson got this. Look at it. That's what I got. That's the t-shirt he got. Papa. He got a football up on his arm and everything. Yeah, yeah, yeah. KJ got that for his papa. That's what he gonna call me.
As a follower of Jesus, my belief is that our purpose should be rooted in serving God and giving Him the glory no matter your occupation. I respect that they may have a different view of this, but pursuing God first will ensure a firm foundation in whatever your gifts and passions may be. The world says to do whatever makes you happy, but if that's only the goal, you will truly miss the mark of what God has for you. We must pursue things that will last and that has eternal value. As Ocho says, you don't have to play sports or football, but you must do something. If you're confused on what your purpose is, I encourage you to take out the Bible and begin reading. King Solomon has much to say about this topic. Purpose was sought after in the Old and New Testament. Keeping God's commandments, or should I say, striving to keep His commandments by renewing our minds, is critical to the Christian faith. A huge component of our purpose in life is to fear God and obey His commandments. Proverbs 9:10 states, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding." Without wisdom, we eventually succumb to our fleshly desires. I don't want you to think that God demands us to fear Him, because if not, He's going to turn you into molten lava. He calls us to fear Him because He wants the best for us. A godly fear puts us in the proper position to hear His voice, which results in clearly hearing what He has in store for us to better equip us in our earthly purpose. Your earthly purpose will have a lasting effect on your legacy and will stand forever in eternity. Another part of our purpose is to see life on this earth in perspective. We have been given only a specific amount of time on this side of heaven. Unlike those whose focus is on this life, King David looked for his satisfaction in the time to come. He said, "And I in righteousness I will see your face. When I awake, I will be satisfied with seeing your likeness." This can be found in Psalm 17:15. Now to David, full satisfaction would come on the day when he awoke in the next life, both beholding God's face, which is fellowship with Him, and being like Him. That's found in 1 John 3:2. It's easy to get caught up in the cares of this world. Work, sports, finances, and a slew of other things can draw us away from pursuing God at His purest form. Not saying that being good stewards of what God has assigned to you should be overlooked, but allowing those things to become idols in your life is not what we're called to do as believers of God. With this being said, I agree with Shannon and Ocho on not living vicariously through your kids. I have 3 kids, and my only goal for them is to have their own personal relationship with Jesus Christ and pursue Him as best as possible. The foundation that I pray that they have with Him will take them to places physically and spiritually that is far greater than any worldly achievements can and will do. To know God is to meditate on His Word and experience the peace that passes all understanding. And again, of course, they'll have trials and tribulations, but with God, they'll be able to navigate those treacherous waters at a pace far more favorable than they will if they don't have an authentic relationship with Jesus Christ. Happiness is relative in this world. You will hear a lot of people saying, well, do what makes you happy. Do what brings you peace. But ultimately, if you're void of Jesus Christ in your life, and if you have not accepted Him as your personal Lord and Savior, all of that does not matter in the long run. It's fleeting and unsustainable if that's your main purpose in life. I pray that this resonates with you, because when we stand before the Father, you and I, what your net worth was or how good you were to people will come second to who you put your faith in. So yes, it's good to have an occupation. Obviously, it's great to have a job where you get paid to pay your bills, to have clothes on your back, and a roof over your head, and food in your refrigerator. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is pursuing God with all of your heart, with all of your mind, and with all of your soul. The things that you will obtain, the blessings that God will give you, comes when you pursue Him with all of your heart. Those things will last for eternity. So let me know what you think of specifically what Shannon and Ocho had to say on their podcast, and also, what do you believe your purpose is? Are you putting 100% of your faith in Jesus Christ? And if not, I would like to know in the comments below. Again, thank you for your support. Always strive to remain set apart. Take care.